What's up YouTube, my name is Zowick, or you can just call me Kyle, and in this video we're going to be talking about my experience and first impressions as a hardcore Call of Duty fan of the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War beta. Now I want to preface this video by saying that I wouldn't lie to you. I am more slightly biased towards the games made by Infinity Ward in the Call of Duty series since I grew up on the older CODs, all made by them, with Call of Duty 2, the big red one, being my first on the PlayStation 2. But I am also able to set aside my biases to be as objective as possible, as I have also played every other COD game since then to max level or prestige multiple times. Despite this, I can only speak to the performance of the beta on PC, as that is the only platform I have played on. I do not own a console and was not able to see how the beta had changed from the alpha, so I only know what I was shown this past weekend. I had just had some Modern Warfare gameplay in the background because I was having issues with my recording software during the actual beta, but rest assured I did play it and reached the max level of 40 in that time. So the first thing I would like to discuss is what I liked about the beta, then move on to what I think they did wrong or could improve upon, and finally what I think the worst parts of the beta were, what could potentially kill the game for other hardcore fans just like me. Firstly, the art style. The art style for the game, not to be confused with the graphics, those are two completely different things, I found to be very nice in this game. Treyarch has always been known to do more colorful games that aren't as graphically impressive, and this game is no different. While it graphically looks very similar to the recent Modern Warfare, if not less slightly impressive technically, the more colorful art style of the game makes it much more appealing to the eyes, in my opinion. Especially on Miami, more on that map specifically later, but to me I would much rather have a great art style over highly accurate and realistic graphics. Also, the character models are spectacular. They tend to be very expressive and well modeled, if not overly expressive. They tend to have some weird, janky facial animations at the start of the match sometimes, but it really doesn't take anything away from the game. Just a little silly. Next is the gunsmith. I really wish I had some gameplay of this to show you guys because it is really cool, but unfortunately my recording software wanted to be gay last weekend, so I didn't get any gameplay of it. The gunsmith functions in this game identically to the way it worked in Modern Warfare. You attach something to one of the many attachment slots on the weapon and it changes the way the gun looks and performs, but instead of just showing you useless bars that don't really tell you anything, the gunsmith in this game shows you exact measurements and tells you exactly what the attachment changes, be it horizontal recoil control or vertical recoil control, sprint out speed, ADS speed, things like that. Positive and negative, it tells you both. And just like in Modern Warfare, there are some attachments that you just won't use, because others in the same category just give you such a good bonus you'd be stupid not to use it. But that's the way every COD works, so it's still in the good category for me. Call of Duty always tends to make certain attachments better than the rest, so you're kind of forced to use them. I'm looking at you, long barrel and quick draw handle. Finally, the first-person animations. The animations they used in-game for things like the running animation, the way your character holds and reloads the gun, all look very natural and well done, especially on the submachine guns and snipers. I didn't use a lot of other guns in the beta because, frankly, the gun balance in this game wasn't very good, at least during the beta. More on that later, but of the guns that I did use, they all had an amazing set of animations and were fun to spam reloads with to see all the different ways magazines change them, and totally not because I have a premature reloading problem after only getting one kill. Moving into the things I think the game didn't quite get right, at least in this beta, first would be the gunplay. The gunplay feels quite floaty. Recoil just doesn't feel quite right, and the guns recoil in ways you feel that they really shouldn't. And on top of that, the hit detection was super spotty on PC during the beta weekend. Again, I can't speak to the performance of the connections and the hit detection on the consoles, but on PC it was very bad during the beta weekend. Treyarch always seems to miss the mark with this in their games. While I usually tend to enjoy playing the Treyarch games with my friends more than the other games in the series developed by Treyarch and Infinity Ward, the Treyarch games almost always tend to have inferior gunplay compared to those games, especially when compared to the recent Modern Warfare, which had the best gunplay in the series so far, maybe even among the best of any FPS ever. So it really feels like a step back when you load up the beta and it seems like shots just aren't hitting when they really should be. It's a small issue that I'm sure can be resolved before release, and if they can fix it, Black Ops Cold War will be much better off for it. The other things I think the game missed the mark on was the other side of the animations. While the first-person animations were really good for mantling, reloads, and movement, etc., in third persons the animations are god-awful, especially on the VIP escort mode that me and my friends played a lot during the beta. In this mode, these were very apparent. While players are downed, they look like they are ice skating around the floor on their knees. The third-person animations for running, crouching, and proning also look off a lot of the time. And on the knee slide, on top of being way too fast and powerful, looked jank as hell in third person. Now I know these can be easily fixed before release, and I hope they do, because while this is something fairly small, it is still an issue for some people, especially hardcore players like me, who will be seeing all these jank animations 3 to 4 hours a day for the next year. And finally, I wanted to talk about what was really screwed up. These things need to be fixed before the game comes out. Obviously, this is a beta and not totally indicative of how the final game will be, but it is also only a month away from release. So if Treyarch is going to fix it, they need to work hard on it right away. Firstly, the gun balance. Like I said earlier in the video, I only used the SMGs and snipers because all other weapons kind of sucked balls. The assault rifles didn't kill quickly enough at close range to be worth using, and at longer ranges, people using snipers or DMRs would kill you instantly, and if they weren't, the bad hit detection coupled with the obscene amounts of recoil on assault rifles and LMGs in this game made it impossible to hit people at mid to long range. SMGs were definitely my preferred weapon of choice because of this. On top of the SMGs killing faster than the assault rifles up close, the assault rifles also could not contest with the secondary shotguns. Without using overkill or a perk, secondaries have shotguns in this game, and the Hauer 77, I think it was called, was a pump action shotgun that wasn't all that annoying, but the Spaz 12 ripoff they had in the game was blatantly overpowered, so naturally every no talent FaZe Clan wannabe loser had that as their secondary to be annoying and pathetic, because if you can't snipe properly, I guess you could always pull out a shotgun. It was basically a plague on the smaller maps because almost everyone had one, and with the very, very high time to kill and bad hit detection in this game, even all headshots at close with a submachine gun could not beat a shotgun user up close. So Treyarch once again makes an overpowered shotgun that succeeds in ruining the enjoyment of close-range gunfights when you can just pull out that shotgun and instantly kill your enemy with zero effort. Now, before I get into the maps, which I feel were one of the biggest problems of the beta, I wanted to touch on the current performance of the beta on PC. At least in my experience, I had huge issues with frame rate in this game, which is kind of ridiculous, seeing as how I can play max settings in Modern Warfare and maintain my 144 FPS mark while playing this game, which isn't as graphically impressive, that consistently drops below triple-digit frames, with anti-aliasing disabled entirely and certain settings turned down or completely off. Like I said before, I understand this is only a beta and they have plenty of time to optimize the game before release, and hopefully they do fix it, because my PC is no slouch. It can handle all AAA games on max settings at 1080p and never drop below triple-digit frames. And lastly for this video, I wanted to talk about the maps. Every map I played in the beta, Crossroads, Miami, Moscow, Cartel, and Satellite. I didn't play the Combined Arms playlist, so I never got to play Armada, but I also heard that map had huge issues with spawns and blatantly overpowered vehicles. But in regards to the maps that I did play, they were garbage. Every map in this beta would be considered a below-average map by Call of Duty standards. Miami was pretty to look at, sure, but it had no flow, and the main part of the map was way too open and too easy to get shot from 30 different angles, especially snipers camping in the hotel balcony. It's Piccadilly 2.0, more or less. Satellite was more of the same as Miami, way too open and a breeding ground for corner camping snipers. Cartel was Cartel. Everyone knows that map is terrible. Enemies hiding in the great bushes in the middle of the map, people camping in the tower in the middle, and hiding in the buildings outside the middle of the map. More of the same for Call of Duty, honestly. Crossroads has the same problem as Wasteland for Modern Warfare 2 if you remember that map. Just way too big and open for the 66 game modes that me and my friends like to play, and it's also infested with snipers and corner camping noobs hiding next to their proximity mines, which kill you despite having flak jacket when it really should protect you. The only decent map from the beta in my experience was Moscow, which had decent spawns, pretty good objective location placements, and honestly was the only good map that I enjoyed my time on when playing in the beta, be it a respawn game mode like TDM, or my preferred game mode of the beta, VIP Escort, as I am mainly a search and destroy player. But as you can see, that is a problem because 1 out of 5 good maps is not a great look for the game. As a beta is supposed to raise hype for the game, if maps like Cartel and Crossroads are all we have to look forward to for at least the first 2 months of the game, it's going to look like a rough year for Call of Duty, at least for those who aren't casual players. At the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, do I think this is going to be a good game? Maybe. I think if Treyarch can fix these issues with the hit detection and connections and release some really good maps when the game does finally come out in November, it will be fun for most people. But at the end of the day, I don't think I will be getting the game. As an S&D player, I feel like the game is way too poorly balanced for that, and with shotguns are being always overpowered in Treyarch games, I don't really feel like dying to a shotgun every round over and over again for another year. I don't think I could maintain my sanity. Modern Warfare and the 725 really ruined casual search and destroy play for me, and that SPAS 12 will be just as bad, if not worse, so I will be avoiding the game personally. I'll stick to Rainbow Six Siege and Counter-Strike when I need my competitive shooter itch scratched. My official review for the game as of the beta is like a 5 out of 10. By no means the worst game in the series, but the recent Modern Warfare is better in my opinion, and there are much better games out right now that you can play. So with that, we come to the end of the video. I want to thank you for spending the time out of your day to sit down and watch this video. Leave a comment telling me what you thought of the beta, and if you played the Combined Arms game mode, tell me how that went for you. Let me know if the vehicles were balanced in your opinion, how the spawns felt, and how the game played. Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to. Downvote if you disagree, and leave a comment with your reasoning, because I actually read all of my comments. Catch you later, YouTube.